Gundam is one of the most beloved Japanese franchises of all time. I mean, they deadass made a giant Gundam in real life. For me personally, I've never been able to click with it. The big toy line for Gundam is called Gunpla, which are model kits. I think Gunpla is really cool, but I just have no attachment to any of the designs. So that makes it hard for me to actually pick any up. But there is one Gundam series that I actually did watch, and I watched it as a kid back in 2003. Back then, Cartoon Network had a block called Toonami, which introduced a lot of Japanese franchises and shows to people my age. It would feature this awesome robot guy that would intro the shows, and sometimes he was voiced by Peter Cullen, aka Optimus Prime.
The peaceful planet of Neotopia is about to erupt in violence.
Attack!
Get ready for Gundam like you've never seen before.
Ready? Let's go!
Really cute and tiny.
Stand back! Withdraw at once. Time for better ideas.
SD Gundam. Starting September 1st at 5.
So the gang's all here.
The Gundams you love. Fun-sized.
SD Gundam Force. This show is way different from every other Gundam series, starting with how it was produced, being a Japanese and American co-production, which is pretty unique for a Gundam series in of itself, but it was also the first and maybe only Gundam show to release in English first, with the Japanese dub being released a year later. SD Gundam Force is based around the SD style, which traditionally means super deformed, because the SD characters have big heads and small bodies. Super deformed is a really funny turn of phrase, and I think it's just a very literal translation from Japanese to English. In the context of the show though, SD means superior defender. The show is about Shoot, a young boy who becomes friends with Captain Gundam, a robot whose job is protecting Neotopia from the Dark Axis, who are evil robots that conquer other dimensions. Captain Gundam is joined by other Gundams from different dimensions that have been hurt by the Dark Axis, soon forming the Gundam Force to stop them. I don't know why, but I really liked this show as a kid and I would watch it a lot. I don't remember 99% of it, but the art style and animation always stuck with me. It has a really cool cel-shaded look to it, and I think a lot of the animation is motion captured, which makes it look really smooth and interesting. I think I like it so much because the mobile suits are actually sentient. It reminds me of Transformers in some ways because of that. One of the most disturbing aspects of the show is the civilian form for Captain Gundam, where he has a mouth, which just looks bizarre since no Gundam has ever had a mouth to my knowledge, but since I grew up with the show, it doesn't really bother me that much.
To make a long story short, I would like you to help me.
Freeze, Freakazoid! Who are you?
The show was also just really lighthearted and funny. Nothing feels too serious or dire. And the evil minions of the Dark Axis, Zackos, are really funny to me. They're like the OG minions. SD Gundam Force also launched with the toy line and video games. The toy line by Bandai is pretty awesome. It's an amalgamation of a few different Japanese toy lines. Half of the toy line is based on the cartoon itself, while the other half features mobile suits from the franchise in the SD style. Unlike the popular model kits, these toys come pre-assembled, and are very posable. I had a Captain Gundam toy as a kid and loved it. I've got a lot of love for this design in general. The sequence where he transforms from civilian robot to Gundam was always hype. Unfortunately, it seems as though the show didn't do too well, so much so that the last 26 episodes were not even aired on Cartoon Network. These episodes were already fully dubbed, so it's kind of crazy that they didn't air them. Thankfully, the episodes were released on DVD later on, and you can actually just watch all of the show on YouTube now. But in today's video, I'm mostly interested in talking about the toys, and I have a fine selection here thanks to today's sponsor, JP Fans, which is a website that allows you to purchase items from Japanese online retailers like Mercari, Amazon, and Surugaya. Mercari is my absolute favorite because you can find awesome deals. For example, I got Bakunetsu Maru complete in box for just $14. The service is simple. When you order your items, they will be sent to the JP Fans warehouse, where you can keep them stored for up to 60 days, which is good because you can bundle multiple orders together. Once you're ready to have them shipped over to you, just pay the international shipping fees. Keep in mind the real value of JP Fans is the great deals you can find on it. International shipping is always expensive, but if you sign up with my registration link below, you'll get a bunch of coupons. And if you redeem code DUMBJAKE, you'll get a 20% shipping shipping discount coupon. Thanks to JP fans, and let's talk toys. Bandai's toy line for SD Gundam Force is a lot of fun, and kind of underrated. I think most Gundam fans don't really like the show, so maybe that extends to the toy line as well, but they're missing out. Each figure in the line has a special gimmick. For example, the Zako toy could come apart, revealing the Zako's endoskeleton, and there were also deluxe playsets, like this absolutely badass set featuring Baku Netsumaru and his horse. There's also the matter of the Gun Panzer, a huge transforming playset that goes from this mobile base to a giant robot. This thing is so badass, and I would love to have him someday. What I have today, though, are 4 of the Japanese SD Gundam Force figures. They're part of the SD Flexation line, which is a name I take to mean SD figures but articulated. Alright, starting off with our hero of the show, we have Captain Gundam. So here's his box, obviously. Got a little picture of him from the show. How adorable. Got his name 01, so he's the first figure in the series. Got his little badge here. And we got some art on the back. Very, very cool box there. Much better than the Bandai box, in my opinion. But here we have Captain Gundam. Getting this guy again after all these years is so awesome. I just really dig his look and his vibe. I mean, he's not based on the Gundam RX-78. He's based on like an amalgamation of several Gundams or several mobile suits. I don't know, whatever you say. But man, he looks cool. I will say like his colors seem a bit dark compared to the show. Like it's more of a navy blue than a like bright blue. Also, I've always thought these little orange parts were kind of weird looking. He does have his badge here, the Gundam Force badge. His head sculpt is really nice. The eyes are nicely applied, as is all the paint. Even that little red piece right there under his eyes is applied nicely. And yeah, back here we can see he actually has little wheels on his feet. These are in the show. They help him go super fast when he's attacking. They're not super effective in real life, unfortunately, but still pretty cool. We've also got his shield here. He's got to hold it weird. And then here is his shield, nicely painted as well. In the show, this pointy part actually like comes out, but the toy does not do that. His blaster here, which has a scope. Yeah, just a standard Gundam blaster, I'd assume. On the back here, he has this little handle, and you can take it out. And there is a separate piece that is his lightsaber. I don't know what you call it. I don't know the Gundam word for it. But he's got his lightsaber here, which is awesome. You don't need to take this off to use his lightsaber, but, you know, this is the handle of his lightsaber, like canonically or whatever. So let's look at articulation. The head can spin 360. It can look up that far and down that far. His arms rotate at the shoulder. They can go out that far. His elbow has a rotation and a single bend. His fist can rotate 360. The other arm can do all that, but the shoulder rotation is a bit different. You can do it 360, but he has this gimmick attached to his backpack, so when you turn the backpack, he's supposed to swing his arm. So really, it's for his sword mode. You just swing it like that. Sometimes this sort of action feature can be annoying, but it actually doesn't really affect him all that much. At most, it just moves his backpack around, which you really can't see from the front. He does have a waist joint. Can't rotate all the way. Maybe it could, but the backpack is kind of hindering it, so I don't want to try too hard. His legs go forward this much, hindered by the skirt here, and they go back this much. The skirt does actually move up out of the way in the back, which is nice. He does not have a knee bend, even though it kind of looks like he would. And his feet are on a ball joint, so they're really nice and posable. So yeah, surprisingly articulated little Gundam guy. I really think he's cool. I really like him, man. I just dig his look so much. And I did have this as a kid, so yeah, it's pretty nostalgic to have him again. So yeah, that's Captain Gundam. Next up, we have Baku Netsumaru. I'm gonna be quite honest, I don't remember anything about this character, but I'll say it right now, his design reminds me of Samurai Pizza Cats. I'm probably the only one brave enough in the YouTube space to even say that, so I'm not gonna lie. I opened this guy up and the smell of the plastic just gave me a crazy hit of nostalgia. Not even for this like toy line in particular. I honestly think it reminded me of like opening old Digimon toys, which were also by Bandai, and I don't know, something about the smell of the plastic just brought me back, man. But this guy, Baku Netsumaru, he is very, very cool. He's got this awesome red and gold color scheme going on. Nice lime green eyes here. I like the little orb in the center of his chest. And yeah, he's just exceptionally detailed. I'm wondering if this figure actually was panel lined by whoever owned it last. Just because I'm noticing like a lot of panel lining here, and at least to me it looks kind of like it was done by Sharpie or like marker or something. He's got these nice shoulder things over here, big old shoulder pads. His head is massive, he's got a massive helmet. Like look at this giant fin in the back. But yeah, I just think the painting and sculpting on these guys is exceptional. So his accessories are these two sword sheaths that you can place on his side here. Can take them out, of course. Now these swords are made of a very, very thin rubbery material. It's kind of a miracle they weren't bent at all in the package, but they did package them specifically so they wouldn't get bent. Same with like his horns here. Everything's nice and straight. But the swords add a lot to his look. He looks awesome with them. The action feature is a bit annoying though, I have to admit. So basically the way it works is, oh, you can already see it. When you rotate his body, his arms sort of slash. Like you rotate it this way, the arm goes a different way. When you rotate it that way, the arm goes another way. So, I mean, it's kind of fun. I'm not going to say it's a terrible action feature or anything. It works well. But unfortunately, I think it just gets in the way of his normal articulation a little bit. So starting with the head, he can look this far to the side and this far up, this far down. So not much head articulation due to the gigantic helmet. His shoulders have these like soft ratchets because of the action feature, so they can move. It's just not as smooth as, you know, like Captain Gundam. His arms go out this far. He has a single elbow and a rotation here, 360, and his hand can also go 360. The waist again is tied to the action feature. The legs can go forwards and back. They are hindered by the skirt, and then his feet are on ball joints. So very similar level of articulation to Captain Gundam, just a few restrictions due to his action feature. But still, I think he's a really cool toy. I enjoy the look of him. And him and Captain Gundam look awesome together. The next figure we have is Zapper Zaku, number 4 in the line. This one is super exciting. I really like this character. He's like the first villain leader Zaku that shows up. He's kind of just like the guy in charge of the grunts, and he's totally ridiculous as a character. He likes to use these two miniguns a lot, which I always thought was fun. So let's open him up and take a look. Also, I just want to point out, on all the flaps, there's like this little Zaku, and then this thing, which is maybe like points or something for Gundam.channel.or.jp. I don't know, but I just think it's funny that there's a little guy on the inside flap. Okay, here we have the Zapper Zaku, who is, I think really cool. I think his main gimmick is that he's kitted out with all these different weapons. So he's got his miniguns like I talked about. He also has these axes, these battle axes, which I'll take out in a second, but you actually store them under his arm piece here. This like shoulder piece, you just store them in there. They both peg onto this little peg. I don't know if this is the orientation you're meant to do. I think the instructions are telling me you can do both at the same time. I mean, I was able to, just in this kind of weird configuration where they stick out, but I don't know if there's a better way to do that. There probably is. And then on his back here, he's got this weird armature sort of thing that is attached to his waist, and it's got this thing and this belt, and it rotates. And then you've got this sort of minigun, and you can just attach that, and kind of keep it back here on his back. And it actually does stay pretty well, despite being kind of a, you know, not super strong connection here. So yeah, that's his main thing, I think, is that he's just totally kitted out, armed to the teeth, and he looks awesome. He looks just like the show. I love the colors. I love just his look. I think Zaku's are, in general, cool designs, and this red one is really cool. I don't know if he's based on, like, the goof or whatever it's called. I know there's a couple famous red Zaku's, but to me, he's just kind of awesome. In terms of articulation, his arms can rotate all the way. You can push them out about this far on that arm, and not really far at all on this arm. Oh, what's this? And he's got little missile pods. He's got little missile pods. I don't know if they're meant to go up or not, but unfortunately his arm can't really move out that much due to this piece. He does have a waist joint. His legs do move back and forth, though they are restricted by the skirt, and they can go in and out as well. His foot is on a ball joint, so it can kind of move all around like this. So yeah, pretty similar articulation to the other figures. Oh, there goes one of his axes. Okay, here he is equipped with his axes, and they look pretty cool. They are two different sculpts, which is neat. So yeah, a pretty neat little axe mode guy. And here he is with his minigun, which looks awesome. Yep, just ready to tear up Captain Gundam or whoever. Looking sweet, man. I guess if I had any complaint, some more paint on the minigun would have been nice, but yeah, I don't know. I just dig this guy so much I could care less. I think he's very, very cool. His mask does flip down, if I haven't said that already, so you can... It's usually up in the show from what I remember, but you can flip it down, which I feel like that's not really a good mask design for this guy, considering, you know, it puts that giant thing in front of his eyeball, but whatever. It's his life. Our last in-package toy is Destroyer Dom, which is kind of a funny name for a robot, but yeah, here's Dom, I guess. I don't remember him from the show very well, but he does look kind of cool, so let's go ahead and open him up. Okay, this dude is double stuffed. He's got this layer of toys, and then he's got a whole second layer of weapons. Jesus. Okay, I thought Zapper Zaku's, like, special feature was being kitted out, but he's got nothing on Destroyer Dom. Destroyer Dom has so many little accessories. All these little things on his skirt here are accessories. This, like, rocket is an accessory. This thing's an accessory. This is a weapon that's like a grabber hand. Like an articulated grabber hand. He's got this rocket launcher weapon, and he's got this missile pod that you can attach on any of these like 2mm ports all over his body. His chest opens up to reveal some blasters, which is always fun. Love some, you know, chest blasters. His feet are kind of bizarre. They have the typical articulation, but they also have these like wheels that can roll, which must be like a part of his character or something that I don't remember. Like, he must use this in the show in some capacity, but I just don't remember. But this is not all the accessories. We also have all of these accessories. We've got another blaster sort of thing. We've got this missile pod launcher. We've got another one of these. We've got just a basic blaster, a hatchet, and most importantly, we have this badass chainsaw sword. Oh yeah, that's the ticket. Chainsaw sword is always the ticket. Something interesting is that his backpack kind of compresses inward. I don't know why. It doesn't seem to activate anything, but it does do that. This guy's articulation is kind of greatly hindered by his design. The head does not move. The arms can rotate 360 degrees at the shoulder. They can move in and out. He's got a single joint elbow, and his hands can rotate 360. He does have a slight waist joint, and his legs can go forward and backwards, but are once again hindered by the skirt. Can go side to side as well, and then he's got that weird foot articulation with the wheel. So yeah, this guy is weird. I don't really remember him from the show, and he's got a lot of weapons. But I think the chainsaw sword is by far the coolest weapon he has. These action figures are absolutely fantastic. I love them. But I have one more toy to show y'all. the last figure I have to show off is actually the Gun Bike playset. Mostly. I have the civilian form of Captain Gundam, I have the gun bike, I have the sidecar, but I don't have the included shoot minifigure. Not a huge loss in my opinion, but, you know, just thought I'd point it out. That's the figure that would fit into this sidecar here. But this is very awesome. I remember wanting this as a kid, and having it as an adult is really cool. Fortunately, the horns on Gunbike here are a bit warped, but this is his face. He's got a little Gundam face, which is really cool. It's actually in the lore that Gunbike gets turned into Gun Panzer, that big transforming one I talked about earlier. So that's kind of cool. This is a Gun Panzer 1.0 basically. Nicely painted. It's a little bit dirty because it's old, that's alright. Well, let's take a look at civilian Captain Gundam. So you just extend the canopy so he can come out. He can plug into this little peg, but I gotta be honest, it's kind of a tight squeeze in there for him. And I really don't know how he's supposed to grab these handles. His arms are just way too high to do it. I don't know. I might be missing something, but it's a really old toy, so. But it does have a nice control panel here that's nicely painted. So let's take a look at Captain Gundam here for a second, which was maybe the most exciting part of getting this figure for me. Just because, wow, there he is, Gundam with a face. He's basically just a simplified form of the regular Captain Gundam. He's got all the same articulation, basically. You know, head spins 360. He does have a waist joint, but it's pretty tight. And his legs pretty much have the same articulation as everyone else. But yeah, there's that face sculpt. There it is. In the show, he's got like a lot more black detailing on his face, but they did not apply that to this figure. Here he is with the regular Captain Gundam. You can see that his colors are even more muted. He's got different shoulder pads, slightly different feet, different arms. So yeah, basically the same dude, just a little bit less armed, I guess. But still, cool to have both the versions of Captain Gundam. And returning to the gun bike real quick. Yeah, you can actually remove it. It's just pegged into the side right there, so you can remove the sidecar if you desire, and it can roll on its own. Here's a gun bike on its own. It does have these missile pods, and you can actually transform them a little bit. So basically you unpeg them, you raise them, and then you flip out these little wings and it becomes sort of like a flight mode. And you can see here it's got little turbines and stuff, and these wings are made of really, really thin plastic, so be careful. But yeah, you got a gun bike flying mode, I presume. Very cool, just cool shaping, cool colors. Just a really neat little fun vehicle toy for this toy line. And you can kind of put whoever in it, but they won't fit as snugly as Civilian Gundam, and even Civilian Gundam doesn't really fit all that snugly. So let's try and put him in. Got a plug into his rear here. Yeah, you gotta keep his arms like above the control panel, which doesn't make any sense for how it's set up. So yeah, that's the final Gundam haul here from JP Fans. Pretty freaking awesome. Overall, SD Gundam Force will always have a special place in my heart. Captain Gundam was a beloved childhood toy, and I'm glad to have him in my collection again, as well as expanding it to other characters I loved from the show like Zapper Zaku. Thanks to JP Fans for sponsoring this video. Be sure to use my link below to sign up and get some coupons, and use code DUMBJAKE to get a 20% shipping discount coupon. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you'd like to support me further, I have a YouTube membership and Patreon. For $1 a month, you get access to my super chill Discord server, where we talk about toys daily, and have weekly Transformers and Tokusatsu watch parties. Alright y'all, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.